Welcome to Beyond the Legal Pad with attorney Laura Cowan.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Legal Pad with attorney Laura Cowan. Laura helps individuals and families navigate estate planning with care, ensuring their wishes are honored and their loved ones are protected. She simplifies the process, helping clients make key decisions today to avoid pain and conflict in the future. I am your host, Kevin Rosenquist, and today's episode is the billable hour and its limitations, how to break free. Laura, so good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So you've built your career around techniques, including breaking away from the traditional billable hour model, which is interesting. Can you explain why the billable hour doesn't work for modern lawyers and entrepreneurs anymore?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the billable hour, and any attorney listening to this is likely going to agree with me. It's something that I've never really had to deal with myself because I've never been in litigation. In estate planning, one of the benefits of estate planning is that you can charge a flat fee, and you should charge a flat fee, which is the opposite of the billable hour, which is billing everything in 6-minute increments. And there's just a whole bunch of reasons why this is not a great model for lawyers. Maybe in litigation is a slightly different story, but the nice thing about transactional work like estate planning is that you can just bill a flat fee. It separates your value from how much time you're putting in. The idea of billing a flat fee for an estate plan, it's really centered around charging based on the outcome and charging based on the value of the outcome you're providing. So billing in 6-minute increments is just something that attorneys hate. It's not efficient. It's not effective. Lawyers hate it. The clients hate it. There's a whole bunch of things wrong with it. And that's one of the things that I love about estate planning is that you can just do a flat fee.
Yeah, I hate doing that because I hate tracking hours. I always screw it up. You know, I'm sure I've left money on the table over the years because I'm just not good at tracking hours. It's hard.
It's hard. And we surveyed our lawyers. We've got about 450 lawyers now in the community who've taken our program. And we surveyed them on a whole bunch of different things. And one of the very first things they said was, we hate the billable hour. Everybody hates the billable hour. So
what are the key challenges that come with a model, with the flat fee model, not doing the billable hours?
Well, the flat fee model is really, really great. I suppose the biggest challenge or the biggest downside would be that random person who pays your fee and then ends up requesting or requiring a lot more work beyond the fee. That's the downside, but you get around that by having a really strong engagement letter and just making it crystal clear. This is the flat fee and this is what's included and what's not included. And once you've made that clear, then there's not any confusion.
Well, we talked before the podcast. You and I both like to talk. So some people just like to talk. Do you just have to kind of work to streamline their stream of consciousness, if you will, approach?
Yeah, you do. And this is one of the nice things about estate planning as a practice area. On the one hand, of course, the documents that you're creating, the will and the other documents, those are very customized and very tailored. But the process around it, including what meetings you have and what emails go out, all of that can really be systematized. And so having systems and processes in place and just making it really clear to the clients, this is how many meetings we're going to have. This is how many hours each meeting is going to last. Now, every now and then someone goes beyond that a little bit. But, the idea is once you have a process in place, everybody knows what the rules are. So that person who comes along and is like, I've got 5 hours of questions about my drafts. Well, you can refer back to your engagement letter, which says you get 3 revisions and beyond that is my hourly fee.
Then you're paying more. So in your experience, how does shifting away from the billable hour model improve the quality of life for attorneys, both professionally and personally?
There's only so many things you can do with the billable hour because there's only so many hours in the day. We all get 24, and there's going to be a limit to what you can charge. You can't just keep raising your hourly rate and expect that people are going to pay it. So, so you're really sort of locked. And I think one of the nice things about the flat fee model is that you're now tying your value as an attorney and the work that you're doing, you're tying it to the outcome and not how long it took you to get there.
Okay.
And this is a big mindset shift, I think, for a lot of attorneys, because we're so used to our worth is dependent on our hourly rate and then how many hours we bill. It takes a whole mindset shift to think about, well, I'm going to charge based on not how long it took me, but the outcome that I'm providing. So if you're helping someone with an estate plan that's going to save them tens of thousands of dollars in estate taxes, you can charge accordingly because that's a really positive outcome.
Yeah, and I think that clients like that too, right? They know when you know what you're going to pay for something, it makes it a lot easier than just saying, well, I'm X amount per hour and we'll see how long this takes. It's that's everyone wants to know what they're going to spend.
They want to know what they're going to spend. They want to know how long it's going to take. And this is a nice practice area for being able to say, this is what it's going to cost. This is what you're going to receive. And then anything beyond that. And there might be things beyond that. But then, you've got the basic documents in place, and then you can work with that.
In our last episode, the first episode, we went over the Estate Planning 101 program, which offers systems to help lawyers scale efficiently. How does this model align with your philosophy of ditching the billable hour model for a more lifestyle-driven practice?
Yeah, so our signature course is the 2-hour Lifestyle Lawyer signature course, and it teaches how to charge and collect fees based on billing a flat fee. So, what we teach is you have a set flat fee that you bill, and it's just, that people are going to choose the fee based on whichever package they want. So you enjoy it as the attorney because you're not having to keep track of your time. Your client enjoys it because they know exactly what they're getting. It's just a win-win.
What tools or strategies do you recommend to help lawyers streamline their workflow?
Yeah, so we teach a lot of software and tools in our 2-hour Lifestyle Lawyer course that we think are really, really important to not only doing a great job, but also streamlining your workflow and what your clients have to go throughout the process. So scheduling software like Calendly is something we recommend. So you're not going back and forth on the phone. That's just a waste of time, and you've got to hire a receptionist and all of that. Drafting software is something that is really going to make your life a lot easier as an estate planning attorney. And there's a couple that we recommend in the program. You should not be cobbling together wills and trusts using, a Word document from here and a Word document from there. There's drafting software that makes it all much easier. A CRM is something that's a good idea to have to keep track of your leads and all of that. Something like MailChimp to keep track of all of your email and your newsletter marketing and things like that. So there's a tech stack that we teach in the course. Some of it you should have right away. Some of it you don't need right away, but everything that we teach is going to help you with that E in the ACE, right? The attracting leads, the closing, the executing. Well, the executing, a lot of that can and should be done by systems and software, because that then frees you up to focus on closing business and working on relationships.
Yeah, and I think what sometimes people don't realize is that, there can be an upfront learning curve or trying to get stuff set up. But once the stuff is set up, you don't know how you live without it.
You can automate so much of the estate planning process. And again, I say this not because I think that, you still have to be there as an attorney and as a person. The automation is great because it frees you up to focus, to be a person and to focus with your clients and to be building those relationships, et cetera. So it's not a substitute. It's just something that a lot of this can really be easily handled behind the scenes these days. And that just frees you up as the lawyer to work one-to-one.
All right, I'm going to ask you a tough question now. There's a lot of AI tools out there right now, and I've even seen some that are designed specifically for lawyers. Where do you land on the AI tools?
Well, the AI stuff is really interesting, and I just did a workshop on this last week. I think that AI is great. It's going to help us automate and streamline a lot of things that now take us a lot of time, like building out marketing emails and doing things like that. So it's going to help in a lot of ways. It's not going to replace attorneys, at least for the next 10 years is what I would say, based on what I've read. We're not going anywhere. It's not a competitor. I like to think of the lawyers in our community that we teach as AI enhanced lawyers, right? So it's like Luke Skywalker and C-3PO. I'm a big Star Wars fan. For anyone who knows me, they know this. And you've got to have Luke, you've got to have your human, your person who's going to be doing the human stuff. And it doesn't hurt to have a droid that speaks 6 million languages, right? So I think it's going to be similar. There's a lot of AI has got a lot of great things to offer, and we should definitely not fall behind on learning what people are using AI for in their firms, while also knowing that we can't be replaced, because at the end of the day, people are just going to want to speak to a human.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I jokingly refer to ChatGPT as my girlfriend. When to my wife, I call her my girl. I talk to it all day long. I mean, it really is. it's crazy how much value there is in these chatbots and all these different systems when you start to learn how to use them.
It's insane. But one of the things that I'm thinking of is there's so much information and content. Obviously, right? It seems to know everything, but what it doesn't have is what I would call implementation. So, you can learn something from ChatGPT. You can learn maybe what a will is supposed to look like, and it might create a will for you. But the implementation, the getting the right legal language in the will, having it signed correctly, having it was executed correctly. It's not, ChatGPT is not going to help with any of that, right? So it's going to spit out some language that may or may not accomplish what you want it to accomplish. And then who knows if it's even going to be signed correctly or anything. So it's not enough yet.
Right. And we here on Beyond the Legal Pad do not condone using ChatGPT for legal advice.
That's exactly right. Yes. It's going to streamline marketing. There's a whole
marketing
bunch
is perfect for. Yep.
Marketing. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things that you should be using it for, and you don't want to fall behind either, because lawyers that are using it, they're going to move ahead, but it doesn't mean that the human connection is not going to matter. And in fact, with estate planning, it matters, in my opinion, more than ever, because I think that people are tired. We're tired of Zoom. We're tired of ChatGPT. I think people just want a human connection, especially with something as important as estate planning.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, for sure. So from a business perspective, how does focusing on flat fees or value-based pricing help attorneys maintain consistent revenue without the stress of tracking hours?
It's so much easier. And what I teach my students in the 2-Hour Lifestyle Lawyer community is estate planning is basically like a 1-month process, right? If someone hires you on the first of the month and pays you, you'll have their estate plan signed and executed by the end of the month. So then you can start to think, well, how many clients do I want per month? If your target is $10,000 a month, which is what it's our goal to get them at least 10,000. Many of them are much higher than that. But if that's your goal and your average fee is $3,000, well, you need 3 or 4 clients a month. And you know that you can serve 3 or 4 clients each month. And then the next month, maybe you only serve 1 or 2, because this is one of those practice areas that you can scale it up, scale it down. And then maybe the third month, you don't do any estate plans because you're traveling in Africa, right? And then you come back the next month and you pick it up again. So it allows you to get off of that, what I call the cash flow roller coaster, which is you never know how much cash is going to be coming in every month. It's up, it's down. If you can just shoot for 3 or 4 clients a month, that's going to be about 10,000 in revenue. And that's plenty for a lot of attorneys.
Well, there's a lot of lawyers out there that are probably would have a hard time with this shift, especially if they're older. They've been doing it one way for a really, really long time. For those people who are out there who are just so ingrained in the billable hour, what's the first step in transitioning to a model that focuses on value over time spent?
Well, we teach our members a 3-tiered fee sheet, which is really pretty common, especially it's everywhere in the world. And it's very common with estate planning as well, which is, so instead of focusing on how much time is it going to take me to draft this will or this trust, we just have packages, which is a pretty common model. You've got a will package, and maybe that's about $3,000 a month. And that's going to include wills and powers of attorney, et cetera, for a husband and a wife, for example. And then you're going to have a middle option, which in New York, most of my clients choose the living trust option. And that's another flat fee, maybe about $5,000. And then you'll have a third option for people who have more advanced planning needs. And not many people are going to choose the third option, but you have it because it makes the first and the second ones look more affordable. So if you're out there and you're practicing estate planning and you're billing by the hour, the first thing I would recommend is do some research and find some 3-tiered fee sheets that other lawyers are making. They're very common. And you just have three options for your clients, because anything beyond that in their minds are going to start, overwhelmed people don't buy. So you don't want to make it confusing. Right. You just want to make it clear. Yeah,
that's a really good way to put it. Overwhelmed people don't buy. How has the shift away from billable hours impacted your personal work-life balance?
I did billable hours for about a year in my first job before I opened my own practice. And it was just miserable. It really is. You're constantly worried about, am I getting enough hours? And am I taking too long on one project and not enough time on another? And it's just really, really unpleasant for everybody involved. And so I think it allows you to put some structure in your day, in your your cash flow planner. It just allows for a lot more structure, a lot more certainty. Everybody's happier. So you can just focus on the project and not worry about, am I going to get a bill in the mail for some random amount? It just makes the whole thing a lot smoother.
Yeah, it's totally, you're right. I mean, billing, I've billed plenty of people hourly and yeah, when you're billing, you're like, oh, are they going to think that I was milking this? Or do they think that I didn't put enough work in? So maybe you even undercut it a little bit because you're worried about making someone upset. Yeah, I hate doing the billable hours. So I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I think it's great.
I think it's great. And I think it's very hard to show your value when you're charging by the hour because you're just reduced to this, I spent 30 minutes on this task and this is my rate, and you start doing the math. I don't want people thinking like that. I want my clients going home feeling like I have peace of mind, I have confidence, I have the documents, I have the relationship, I have everything. And that's what I'm paying for, not 15 hours here or 15 minutes there.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's definitely the way to go. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Legal Pad with attorney Laura Cowan. To connect with Laura, head to www.twohourlifestylelawyer.com, or you can email her at laura@twohourlifestylelawyer.com. And that 2 is a digit as well. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe to the channel and leave us a review in the comments. And Laura, thanks so much for the insight as always. It was really a real pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.